Hello everybody, it's Ron over here at Becoming Enlightened Together. I've taken a couple of days off. I needed a much, well, let's just say sought after time away from things. Get things in perspective. I had helped somebody out, so I'm back. I don't think anybody really cares, but anyway, I care. So we're going to go ahead and do a weekly energy pull, see what the entire week looks like, the 11th through the 17th of January. Yes, I know it's Tuesday. I actually did this on Sunday. I got sidetracked with so many other things that I just neglected to post it. And like I said, then I took some time off. So forgive me. I apologize. I want to get better at this. But like I said, this is not, my main job. I don't do this for money or anything like this. I try to put this in there every day, but sometimes other things just get in the way. There's only so many hours in the day. So now with that disclaimer, let's go ahead and look at the overall energy for the week is Nauthis. And Nauthis this time is in reverse. So what does Nauthis in reverse mean? Well, it talks about moving in the wrong direction. It talks about somebody who's possessive and needy, an inappropriate constraint of someone's freedom, distress, toil, folly, drudgery, laxity, needs, necessities, want, deprivation, starvation, poverty, both physically and emotionally. It looks like this week it's going to be pretty rough for a number of people that are out there. And I don't presume that this is necessarily the collective I'm referring to. Generally, when I get, so much energy that it seems to be of a negative aspect, that usually is associated with the karmics in particular. Yes, that doesn't mean that those within the collective are immune to having bad days or bad weeks, bad months, whatever the case may be. Of course, we all have to go through that in order to be within the collective. You go through a lot of turmoil and a lot of tests. We all do. So, indeed, just take this where it resonates. But the overall energy for the week is rough. So now Sunday's energy was that of Canaz. I don't know if you can see that. I had to scratch it into the stone myself with my knife, but it looks, well, like an arrow, so to speak. Yeah, it's not coming in very clearly. Anyway, Canaz, this case was in the upright, and Canaz is just like what I have tattooed on my hand, which is roughly about energy, positivity, like that light bulb going off over your head. You get that inspiration, you get that understanding of something you have been meditating, reflecting on, or questioning for so long. It talks about creativity, a revelation, knowledge. It talks about somebody's abilities, technical abilities, and so on. It talks about rapport. Talks about sexual passion and love. It talks about energy and power being available to you, the fire of life, so to speak, as the Norse put it. Those Vikings, they talk a lot about love and sex, no doubt about it. But I guess we all need a hobby. Anyway, being said. Monday's energy. Yesterday's energy was Lagos, and Lagos was in the reverse. So the way that this week is working is every other day the energy goes from positive to negative. Lagos in the reverse. Lagos typically meaning things of water or emotions. In this particular case, in the reverse, it talks about a need to escape. Somebody feeling trapped someplace, being exposed to temptations and greed, acting against one's own conscience, being confused, making poor judgment calls, poor decisions. Talks about a lack of creativity. You see, this back and forth thing is going to be happening all week long for us. It talks about, power, basically lack of power is what it talks about. It talks about fear and withering away, madness, and obsession. It talks about despair and perversity. It talks about sickness and possibly even suicide. And again, if anybody's feeling these things and you have nobody else to reach out to, then my door is always open, okay? I mean, I've been through almost every imaginable emotion and situation in my life. I had a long life. I've seen a lot of things. I've been in a lot of experiences. So if I can be of any help, whatever, if nothing else, just to give you a willing ear. I don't even have to comment. And by all means, reach out to me. Alright, so we see Tuesday today. The energy is Awas. Now, Awas is in the upright, and that's good because it's a powerful rune. It talks about the quest, a rebirth, success and strength, trustworthiness and endurance. It talks about defense and enlightenment. It talks about the need to protect, protection, driving force to acquire something. Motivation. It talks about a sense of purpose, and having your sights set upon an achievable goal, and going for it basically. So it's a very powerful rune. So it looks like the emotions are going to be up and down. I mean, on a major scale. Very little of this. It's going to be woo, like a roller coaster all week long. Now tomorrow's energy. Wednesday is Yera. And this is Yera. We had that a couple times last week. Now, Yera talks about fruition. This also is in the reverse. Fruition which cannot be speeded up, okay? It can't be rushed. Things happen in the universe on the universe's time scale, not ours. Or God's timing, not our timing. So patience is something that we have to incorporate, especially in this week. So it talks about sudden setbacks and reversals. It talks about major changing and maybe feeling a sense of repetition. Lots of repetition within this week. Bad timing, poverty, again, and conflict. So we're seeing a lot of some pretty dramatic scenarios that are being painted out here. We're seeing poverty more than once, and starvation, and deprivation, and want, and extremes. I hope that nobody out there is suffering from these things in a tangible way. I mean, in a physical sense. I mean, it's just as dramatic and horrible in the emotional sense too. I understand that, but physically, you have to have your needs met so that you can handle those emotional, roller coasters and situations that inevitably pop up in our life. If you're not taking care of your body and everything else, then it just compounds everything. It makes, things much, much harder than they should be ordinarily. Alright, so that's Yera. Now Thursday, we have another powerful rune. It's one I have tattooed on my chest. It's Urus. And Urus is named after the great ox that is no longer with us. It went extinct 500 years ago, but it was a very, very powerful beast. So everything that deals with that type of energy, strength, health, vitality, tenacity, speed, untapped potential, time of great energy and health, Talks about freedom. Talks about actions, sudden or unexpected changes. We've seen that a couple of times, so we can expect things to pop up that we weren't necessarily prepared for or expecting. Again, it talks about sexual desire, masculine potential, shaping of one's true potential. Very, very positive energy. So we see that on Thursday. Friday we have Canas again, and Canas at this time, the one that looks like an arrow, is in the reverse. So obviously it's going to be many of the same characteristics, only from the negative perspective of that. So terminations, giving up the old, disease, facing up to one's death, breakups, instability, lack of creativity, nakedness and exposure, loss of hope, and illusions. So we all have peaks and valleys, in life. That just goes without saying. It looks like this particular week, at least for some people that are out there, are really, really going to be going through it. So I wish I wasn't the one getting all these negative energies, but maybe it's because I myself have been through so much of this that, I can relate to it, so I'm open to it. I don't give you just the touchy-feely. I give you whatever, Spirit wants to, wants me to convey to you. So now what we have on Saturday is Thor's mighty rune, Thurisas, but this too is in the reverse. So we got a stone representative of a god, and it's in the reverse. That's usually pretty bad, and this is no exception. So this is somebody who's basically stubborn, foolhardy, deceptive, headstrong, doesn't heed advice, somebody who is both a danger to himself and to others, somebody who is basically defenseless at this point. Everything is being taken away or stripped away from them. Somebody who's very compulsive, somebody who is quick to betray, somebody who's very dull, not very bright, evil, somebody who's filled with malice and hatred. He's got a spirit that is tormented. He lies, cheats, steals, or she. Rape is also a part of this. And basically it's summed up as just somebody who's generally a very bad person. Man or woman, doesn't matter. So, again, this is obviously for the karmics in our lives. So be aware and just keep in mind, as I always say, every one of us have gone through our journey and we've all been karmic. It's taken a great deal of, personal effort and work to get to a point of finding some peace and love and harmony in our lives and being able to, share that with others. So just remember, they're just, as hard as it is to remember sometimes, like I said, believe me, I know. But, we are to be the example of the change that we want to see in this world, and we've all gone through this painstaking effort and years of going within and everything else. So some people just haven't even started that aspect of their journey yet. So I guess this is how we see the many, holy men and women of the past who seemingly are able to turn their cheek and, to love others who are very difficult to love ordinarily, because they realize that, that truth. It's easy to know something, but to apply it in a real way, it's a whole different ball game. And I struggle with it constantly, and I'm not here to sit there and try to pretend as though I'm holier than thou, because it's not true at all. And I don't see myself that way. I see myself as somebody that wants to be the best version of himself, and I go out of my way to try to help others to do the same. I hate bullies, so I protect the innocent, the weak. I look after animals. I love animals. I got a big heart, and I know that. But I've also been on the other side of that spectrum. So I balance my light and my dark sides. And I believe that to be one of the secrets of our existence in order to become the better, best. I put those two words together, created a word, version of ourselves. So that's where I'm going to leave us for today. Prepare. This week is going to be rather difficult, filled with peaks and valleys, and um, much more so than normal appears. And some people in our life are really going to be needing some help. They are really going through it. Some of these people may not be deserving, in our opinion, maybe even in their opinion. But always remember that the golden rule, do unto others you have them do unto you, is there literally in every faith throughout the entire world. It is a universal law, and this is one that's basically, I guess you can say it's enforced with karma. When you do good, you get good back. When you do bad, well, inevitably, eventually, you are definitely going to get that same return. And that's what's happening to some people in our life. They're getting the just rewards of their earlier actions, deeds, thoughts, whatever the case may be. So, we're not here to judge. Nobody but ourselves, that is. And we really shouldn't be judging ourselves. We should be really trying to learn to love ourselves. And again, that's not always easy. We pick up a lot of terrible things from early on, from family and, other people who may have betrayed us in our life growing up. And it usually ends up having one of two results. Either it breaks that person inevitably and they become exactly like it was, or the people that have betrayed them, if you will, or they stay tender, they stay just, and they try not only to correct those things within themselves, but they're now equipped to help others who are going through it to heal. So there's a reason we go through the things we do, and I have to remind myself of that constantly. And we all have heard also, I'm just filled with this wisdom today, or affirmations, as far as God only giving us, or the universe, whatever it is you believe in, no more than what we can handle. And some of us are obviously able to handle a great deal. So, and again, that makes us stronger. So just keep that in mind as well. And there is some truth to that, I believe. And we do come out the other side a different person. A battle-hardened person. A person that is now far better equipped to deal with this world and its many hardships, okay, and help others in the process as well. And that's what it's all about. So I've rambled on, and I truly hope you guys have a great rest of the day. I'm going to try to put some more information out here. I got things to take care of first, then I'll come back to this, maybe do a couple of tarot card pulls and another rune pull for today specifically, okay? In the meantime, you all take care and stay victorious, of course. You're all victorious no matter what hardships you're going through, as long as you continue to persist, remain persistent, tenacious, don't give up, don't give in, never retreat, never resent. God, I can't talk today. Never retreat, never surrender. Death before dishonor, and all those other things. Some of those I have tattooed on me too. But anyways, I will see you all much, much further down the line. I'm going to live forever in Valhalla. But until then, take care.